This is your daily market review for Monday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Monday, March 17th, 2025. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully you're having fun. Having a good day. Actually, not surprised by more market up as we've talked about. The oversold conditions were feeling very bouncy going into the FOMC meeting and quad witching OPEX. If you've been following the channel, you're probably killing it in the market. And again, congratulations. Some folks have hit some monster trades. And again, some people have been just watching from the sidelines. There's nothing wrong with that. So on any note, want to go deeper into it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. You guys are amazing. Hopefully, you're doing great. So, again, what do we expect going into the rest of the week? Again, tomorrow is a Tuesday before the FOMC meeting. I doubt much is going to happen. On that note, just, again, be thoughtful, be safe, be smart, don't go nuts. And if you're not sure, don't act. Again, you can't lose money if you're not in the game, but also too, you can't go broke taking profits. So on that note, if you want to join the Discord room, links in the description below. If you want to chat, use the Calendly link. 30 minutes. Let's connect, see what you need help with. Again, if you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate anywhere in the country, you don't ping me, and you're one of my, 10,000 followers out there, what are you doing? If you know me, you can trust that I will try to find you the best agent no matter where you are in the country and connect you with somebody that's going to help you hit all of your real estate goals. I'd be honored to be a part of it because you get two agents for the price of one. You get me involved in the transaction as well, and I would love to help out. Again, if you're around, following, posting, want to see, we're posting trades on Twitter. Also, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube so you get alerts when this comes out. If you'd like to donate to the channel, hit the thanks button. Or if you want, links in the description below is appreciated. Got a few donations today. I know my man Joe out there, Joe T, is absolutely freaking killing it. Again, commodities. Do you really need to go that deep to trading right now? Do you need to bounce around into all sorts of stuff? Maybe not. Again, check out thetradingagent.com. Tons of resources, assets, things to learn, places, people, things to learn. People are like, well, what do you have there? It's like, man, just check it out. Go check it out. There's a ton of resources. Love to help out. If you're unsure, not sure, whatever you want to call it, have questions, don't hesitate. That's what we're here to help and do and learn. All right, we know this week there is nothing coming. Do not believe anything. If anyone says, oh my God, they're going to cut rates, no. However, it doesn't mean that rates could come down because, again, you're starting to see future rate cuts potentially being priced in. So we will go deeper in time. The Bitcoin, again, we're stuck between no man's land. At some point, we probably retest this low 70,000 range, or we're going to test the 93. We're in between the chop zone. You want to get your head chopped off, then play the middle of ranges and enjoy how that hurts. And I don't mean to impress that upon you. Just be safe out there. Again, I hate when people assume certainty, and this is what's killing me. And again, I'm not killing me, but why are my Bitcoin friends not agnostic? Again, as a gold person, as someone who trades stocks, someone who loves real estate, I have to admit when something's not working or when it is. And again, that's why you have to manage your positions, right? You have to know how to allocate your money. And if you're just sitting in Bitcoin here, waiting for the next boom because Michael Saylor said it was, man, you're missing out on great opportunities elsewhere in the market as Bitcoin seems to be lagging. Womp womp. Be careful. Oil holding the mid 60s. Again, I think we have more upside in time. Potentially nat gas due to pullback, as we talked about, been on fire. Keep an eye on it. Again, if you have questions about any of this stuff, do not hesitate to reach out. Join the Discord room. Ask a question. Don't be shy. The person who's shy gets no help. Dollar, we've talked about, been getting biting down. Again, economic activity, I think there is a recession coming. How deep, how hard, how much will it price in? We'll see. TLT, again, I think bonds, we talked about it filling the gap. There's a great risk reward here for a trade. If you're watching, you understand. I think rates will go lower near term. Again, inflation is coming down. Expectations are coming down. The VIX said it felt like a trap up here. 2-day range. Again, I said, man, I posted today. I'm like, I will not be surprised if we see the upper teens. Seems like we're going to get there fast. Doesn't necessarily mean we can't bounce from this level here, but I mean, I wouldn't be going crazy. We talked about the VIX doing a bull trap. Boom, look at that. Bam. Boom, 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 bam. Now, what do we know about the VIX? It usually tops and bottoms first, right? If you want to get all bearish and nutty, you go right ahead. But what I would watch for is to see what happens here. Got it? SPY. Talked about the bounce was due, right? I mean, not that we can't go lower in time, but you get the oversold conditions. We talk about the 20-day becomes typically, again, I'm just going to continue to roll this down to wherever the 20-day is. 200-day, 20-day seem very likely to get touched. Touch them all, right? I feel like, again, even if this is a long-term bottom, which it's always possible, you never know. Again, because the Feds could go QE. Things could happen behind the scenes that you can't predict. That's why I think people are like, well, I know everything. And it's like, no, you don't know shit. Neither do I. We're only trying to, trying to use probabilities to project what might happen. None of us know anything for certain. Don't please be that dumbass, because I've been it too, where I go, oh, we can't, it has to do this. And it's like, no, do what the market is doing. The market's really good at humbling everybody at some point when you get your head up your ass. Talked about this trend line here, coming back and retesting it. I would not be surprised about the 200-day, 50 and 20-day. Look at them all coming together. 4, 9, 3, right? That's what I'd be watching for. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to play the game in a sense of just being overly, I don't know what the right word is, but overly obnoxious about it. But like, I don't know, putting in my notes, Q, 4, 9, 3 plus. Keep it simple, stupid. Again, I always take notes while we're doing this. But again, if you're not sure with the SPY level again, check it out. I mean, at worst, in my opinion, if you bounce, you could get up to that 572, right? 200-day moving average, just for those at home. IWM talked about the bounce. If you played the bounce, hell yeah, nice trade. Wouldn't be surprised to get up to the 208, 210 later, maybe the 20 days coming down. Dia, oversold, due for the bounce, hitting the 200-day. This one again, I don't really care as much about, but just watching. Good old gold. This is killing Bitcoin, folks. And again, I'm not going to sit here and troll them. But we said the 2 times monthly range was going to back up, and it's still, I mean, this is what leadership looks like. When you're lagging, you got to be careful, because if you can't lead when the market's going up, what happens when the market goes down? You're going to lead down, right, bro? Again, I'm not picking on Bitcoin, again, because gold underperformed for a long time. No one's going to say every sector leads. Watching it. Silver, we talked about the bounce. Hey, if you bought it in the mid-20s, looking fresh, can we get up a little higher? Again, I don't know if it's going to really break out before the Fed meeting. So again, if you're watching gold and silver getting all excited about it, I think today's action might be the max upside. Man, can't get mad at this, because again, we talked about this, like you need to break out. But the only thing that scares me, and I'm not like scared, like, ooh, it's just more of a, do you trust it before the Fed meeting? That's all. Again, I mean, if you're along this stuff and it's working, roll up your stops, tighten it up and let it go. But you're taking out the highs. I mean, this is what we talked about was possible. AEM finally starting to break out. Was watching this one's like, I don't really like the doji, but what do we say? The doji sandwich. Doji sandwich confirmed higher prices today. Congratulations. AG. This one has been just doo-doo pie. But we talked about the volume was building. Somebody knew something, and here we go. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So look at the scenario. Looks like it's going higher. Keep an eye on it. Newmont talked about this one backing up to the 50-day. Cool. I mean, if you take out 48s, there you go. Pass. I mean, hey, this is why it's like so hard. It's probability based. You can't by certainty. Just keep it on this stuff. It's all taken out highs. Great. My biggest concern, and again, I'm not talking about in general, for like if this was my position. I'm talking about in general, like any position, like going into the Fed meeting, breaking out. Be careful. You never know what they're going to say. Just keep it on. Again, it's a winning, though. That's all it is, winning. Winning. Taiwan Semi looks like it's due to bounce here. We talked about that. Micron, right? Here we go. Chop around. Big chop range. Congratulations. AMD. I'm like, I think this stock sucks, but it's due to bounce. There you go. Little gap up. Maybe it's got some room. I mean, if this was due to bounce, it's a pretty damn big move. 175 down to 94. I mean, let's look at this. I mean, I'm just trying to just use some fibs. What would be just a natural progression bounce? 0.382 is usually the min. Okay, that would take you back up to the 100-day, 125. That would make sense. Again, I'm not saying to go bullish and nuts on it, but if you got to trade it, Got to trade it. NVIDIA, we talked about this one was leading up. Like, oh, the market's really going to dump with NVIDIA leading up, popping up. All right, now you're oversold. Sorry, overbought real quick. You know, you go from 105 to 123. Pretty solid bounce. Don't be surprised if it chops around. Again, I think the ideal short would be somewhere around this 130, the channel high, the 100-day. Again, I'm not going to sit here and jump in front of it right at the moment. I do think it is still the short of 2025. You're like, what? How can you say one thing and the other? And it's like, it's because it doesn't always have to move in the same direction all the time. Sorry, my friends. With the vampire voice. SMCI has earnings this week. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. Intellectual property. Talked about when the CEO resigned, it's probably going to be a little bullish. There you go. Now, again, I don't know what the real takeout target price would be on this thing, but I don't know. Keep an eye on it. Again, either way, this is why it's called trading. We're in a trader's market, in my opinion. Channel low, AVGO bouncing, not surprised. SMH, we talked about this was due to bounce. There you go. You held the zones. Now you bounce. Adobe. This is interesting, right? Flops on earnings. Okay, can we bounce back? Can we bounce back? We'll see. Again, Apple. This is where it's hard to trust the market to sustain if Apple can't get above its range lows. Keep an eye on it. It's not really acting that well. Amazon. Again, this is why I don't trust tech. I like commodities best. It feels like it's due to bounce, but man, it can't get over the 200-day. Meta feels like it's due to bounce. Chopping around. Not that great, right? CRM, due to bounce, right? After it got slapped around. Keep an eye on it. Guggenheim. I mean, these things, this is why I'm like, oh, tech. Only like one tech stock that I really like that seems value here. Chopping. Again, I think these all should bounce. If they don't, tells you something, right? Microsoft, we talked about how the dollar weakening. This one's oversold, not surprised. NDAQ, even NDAQ, this piece of bounces. 200-day. See how long these all last. MicroStrategy, I don't think you can really get much up. I mean, I think the 320s could be possible with Bitcoin at this price, but you need Bitcoin to wake up. Netflix, man, up a solid 3.5% today. Impressed. Again, 20 days. We talk about on the first drop in the curling of the 20-day. There you go. Talk about it all the time. Touch them all. Roblox seems to be a little bit oversold, obviously. Bouncing, chopping around. PanW, please don't take off without me. No, I like cybersecurity names. Just keep an eye on it. Good old Tesla was saying, watching it today. Like, anyone else watching? Right? Anyone else watching? Look what happens down here. Tesla, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I know the exact price, but man, that 237 plus area, sorry, 232, right? Like that looks interesting. That, I mean, if you let me zoom in, the gap, right? Do you see the gap? Now, again, I don't give a crap about all the headlines, but I'd be watching this because again, we traded up, trade around. I mean, I'm playing a couple hundred shares, playing games. Keep an eye on it. Don't go nuts, okay? Insight, right? Chop, chop, chop. Man, look at this gap down. Was watching this today like, oh, okay. Let's see what happens down here because, again, I think this is a buyout target. I think if you, man, I didn't buy any today, but I think if the 55 plus retiree community, watch that. HIMS, this one's interesting. Again, if you trade this and you sell covered calls on it, this is probably where it is. Like the premiums on this is such nuttiness. Keep an eye on it. Palantir, all over the place today. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, we'll see what happens here. I mean, again, near term, these could all be a little bit overbought. Not necessarily overbought, but chopping. Look at BABA, right? Trend line. Here we go. Here we go. Is it going to break out? We're going to break out. Again, I don't trust Chinese stocks, but we'll see what happens. Coin, another one worth watching. Chopping here at the range lows. Could it bop here? Bop, 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 bop. McDonald's, this one's interesting. Look like it was going to break out. Gave it back. Held the 150-day. Don't know. Airbnb. Sorry, DKNG should chop here. Again, I don't think gambling's going to look so hot, but we'll see. Costco, Airbnb, bouncing. Sorry, Costco looking to bounce here, right? Talked about like it felt due to bounce. Oversold. Starbucks, I wish this thing would have held up near the high so I could short it. Due to bounce. Either way. Federal Express, chopping around at the range lows. I'm not really a fan of this one. I mean, I don't know. They're all due to bounce. This one, Caterpillar, this looks a little interesting, right? Like this could be a little head and shoulders bottom. Like that one's worth keeping an eye on. Again, we'll roll through them all. Deere, this one's been on fire, but holding up. Again, I just don't know if the risk reward is worth it. Nucor, now Nucor, Makes sense here, right? Watching this like 126 plus, put that in your notes. And we talked about how X is going to get bought out at some point. Seems to be holding up pretty well. Keeping on it, right? VALE, right? We talked about this one breaking the downtrend. Congratulations. Arrow, put this. I mean, again, we like copper names, right? Keeping on this. Like these all look really good. Like they're due to bounce. Like I'm going to start putting more commodity names back in this because this is, to me, the best long term risk reward. Look at SCO. We talked about some of these looking pretty strong. SCCO, Southern Copper. Yeah, back at the trend line. See what happens. FCX. And look at these names holding up really well as the market got creamed. CCJ, right? Keep an eye on it, right? Watch the 40 area. CF looks interesting, right? Keep an eye on this. Mosaic. Keep an eye on this, right? Mosaic is my favorite to bounce. NTR looks pretty interesting, right? Not to say this might be my favorite one, but these names look like they're due to bounce. I don't know if you guys watch Sociedad Química. This one looks really strong, right? Do you see how like some of these ag names told you, right? Like this name, I mean, I would be watching these names on pullbacks. Again, I think they're bottoming, coming off the bottom. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a straight line move. If it is, great, but due to bounce. Or sorry, dude, I mean, I would be watching them on bounces. Same thing we said, oh, check out your good old friend, Aaron, aluminum. Kalu's another one, right? If you're watching, here, I'm going to add that one because I have a multiple watch list. I'm going to put it on my trading, like the one for the Stock Traders Almanac, not Daily Market Review. Let me throw that one in. Kalu, look at this, Kaiser Aluminum. Do you like the risk reward here? I do. Keep an eye on it, right? All right, XLF. Let's get in the financial game. Keep an eye on this one. Again, we said it was due to bounce. I know a lot of people are following Hood, so I'm throwing that one in there. I don't really have much charted on it. I was going to start building it, but clearly there's something going on in this area. I'd be watching. You had a nice run. I'm just building this like how I would build it. Look at the 0.618. I'd be watching that. All right, so let's put an alarm here. 34.68. See what happens there. JP Morgan had the long-term puts, took half off, said we're due to bounce. 200-day, keep an eye on it. Morgan Stanley, Stanley Morgan. Again, a lot of these names look due to bounce. Oh, God, Dan, you got to stay short the whole time. No, don't do that. You don't know. Or manage your positions. Bank of America, same thing. Goldman Sachs, same kind of thing. KRE, same kind of thing. Getting my drift here. Keep an eye on it. Oh, MP is another one that I keep. That's interesting. Materials Corp. Look at this. Zzz. What looks better? Put this in your trading, right? Like what's looking better? Commodities. Telling you guys, China's spending money left and right. What are they doing? They're trying to reload something. XBI again, chopping around. Worth a watch. Jets said this was due to bounce. I mean, I don't know. 0.618, 200-day. Housing. It's starting to get in its feel goods. People are starting to like feel like it is. I'm like, we'll see here. Rates are what they are. Solar, not really interested in dinging around with that, but they are due to bounce. We talked about that, right? Sedge, man, look at ENPH with a 9% pop today. Oh, look at that. First Solar, I like First Solar in the 130s, upper 120s, looking pretty solid. HYG, we talked about this one due to bounce. Keep an eye on it. Let's end it with oil and gas, my favorite sector right now. Okay. Oh, I'd be watching. Again, I'm not saying you got some stuff going on in the Middle East. We'll see what happens. Natural gas due to pullback. If you shorted the KOLD in the freaking 80s, you need to take some profits down there and just wait for some bounce. XOP, I hit my alerts, so I sold my calls. I'm not too concerned about it. If you bought the Gush in the high 21s and sold cover calls, you probably got somewhere in the range of premium that pays you somewhere in the $26 to $27 range for Gush. Right? You bought this, so do the math. It's a 20% gain, right? You bought it down here, sold some calls that are paying you somewhere in the premium in the 26 range, maybe 27. Good freaking trade. Now, I'm not saying that XOP can't go higher. That's the problem here. When you hedge, you can't just expect anything. But what I would expect, again, this is why I sold calls. All right, let these things pull back for a little bit. If they don't, I don't care. When you go large, this is where it's about big money, big trade. Like if you want to go secure. This is the thing. Like, imagine if you said to me, in 8 days, you can make 21% on a large investment, not some fucking bullshit trade where you just buy a few options. No, like you went large. Say you put whatever's large to you, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures safely. That's what I'm fucking talking about. CVE, we talked about like gasoline names. We like them due to bounce, right? Valero. Remember the gasoline names? We talked about those. Yeah, they were holding up pretty well. Okay, chopping around. Again, not to say that they can't go freaking nuts, but that's why we're looking at the bottoms. Look at some bounces. All right, ExxonMobil. Like this thing has been strong, like right the bull. Okay, breaking over the 112. That was important. BP, we talked about if you bought this up in the upper 30s. Here you go. Here you go. Right? Occidental. If you bought this down in the 44 range, here we go. Maybe. And again, if it chops around, you can buy more. EQT. Right? Talked about this one holding up pretty high. Chopping at the range highs. Last but not least, again, I like Flex LNG. I mean, you could just buy Flex LNG for an 11% dividend. When's their next dividend? So it's 220. Okay, so we got a few more weeks, but man, I'm going to probably buy the stock right before the dividend is paid because I will take an 11% dividend yield. I know it's annualized, right? So, but $1 something if you had a couple thousand shares, not bad. I don't know, maybe get a run up. Anyway, hopefully this helps. I know a lot of folks who are struggling, but also know a lot of folks that are absolutely killing it. Please let me know I can help. This is what we do. You're doing real estate stuff, let me know I can help. If you're looking for help overall, do not hesitate to reach out. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I know in the future you can only do better if you learn and you grow. Talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.